Rights to freedom is dead. We're coming to get our check.
Black first, my brothers and my sisters. Welcome to the Afro Elite YouTube channel. I am your host, Afro Elite. Before we get started, please make sure that you guys hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and leave a thumbs up on the channel because that helps the reach and the growth of it. Thank you very much for everything that you guys do as far as liking, commenting, sharing. I appreciate it very much. Now we're talking about the situation with Johnathan Majors, the allegation, quote, let's pay very close attention, highlight and underline that word, the allegation that Johnathan Majors had abused his former girlfriend. And now Johnathan Majors is pretty much being dropped by everything that has ever associated with him. And we're going to look into this because now we have more people coming up and talking about allegations that Johnathan has been violent towards them or has harmed them in some way. So let's look into that. Now, this article comes from laneygossip.com and it was dated on the 24th of April. It starts off saying, "It's been 1 month since Johnathan Majors was charged in relation to a domestic violence incident involving his now ex-girlfriend. In that time, his management company and publicists have dropped him, although he is still at present represented by the talent agency WME. The U.S. Army also reconfigured a new ad campaign without Majors featuring as the narrator, and the baseball team, the Texas Rangers, also dropped him from an ad campaign. He's also been dropped from a film adaptation of The Man in My Basement, and he's out of consideration for an unannounced Otis Redding biopic. And he will not be attending the Met Gala, though he will be in New York a week after the Met Gala for his first court appearance on May 8th. Content warning for this link. To quote an unnamed source who was supposed to work with Majors on a project, the text read, quote, read like a bad Lifetime movie. They basically look like the text message of a textbook abused woman. You can read a transcript of the text here in this, and they're going to display it, and I'm going to show you what the text say. Now, this is what the lawyers, his lawyers, are saying that she texted him. This is a transcript of that. She says, please let me know you're okay when you get this. They assured me you won't be charged. They said they had to arrest you as protocol when they saw the injuries on me and they knew we had a fight. I'm so angry they did. And I'm sorry you're in this position. We'll make sure nothing happens about this. I told them it was my fault for trying to grab your phone. I only just got out the hospital. Just call me when you're out. I love you. Now, the reason why this was something that the lawyer should not have displayed is because when she said, I told him it was my fault for trying to grab your phone, it sounds like I was trying to grab your phone and you hit me, but you're justified for hitting me because I tried to grab your phone. This is not saying that it didn't happen. It sounds like this is like Stockholm syndrome type stuff from the woman. Like, I tried to grab his phone and I know how he gets when he gets angry and he hit me, but it was my fault because I should have minded my own business and stayed in a woman's place in the kitchen cleaning. Like, that's kind of what it sounds like. So I don't know what the lawyer was thinking, like this is exonerating. It's really not exonerating. This kind of makes him look bad, to be honest. It makes it look like I didn't want them to arrest you. It was my fault. I should have minded my business. I deserve to be hit. That's kind of what it sounded like. And her following text says, they just called again to check on me, and I reiterated this was not an attack and they do not have my blessing on any charges being placed. I read the paper they gave me about strangulation and said point blank this did not occur and should be removed immediately. The judge is definitely going to be told this. She assured this to me. I know you have the best team and there's nothing to worry about. I just want you to know that I'm doing all I can on my end. I also said to tell the judge to know the origin of the call was to do with me collapsing and passing out and your worry as my partner due to our communication prior. Out of care, she promised all will be relayed. But again, be kind to yourself because it's upsetting. How does his lawyer explain how she lost consciousness? Now, what their lawyer is saying is that she lost consciousness because of a medical issue, and it was not because she was beat unconscious, as this article is kind of implying. And then it continues to say, like, walk me through that. Well, if you did your due diligence, you would understand that she lost consciousness because of medical issues that she was taking medication for, not because she was beaten so badly. She never even claimed that. I have other questions, chiefly how anyone thinks these texts are exonerating. I'm going to be honest with you, those texts was not the smartest idea for his lawyer to put out. I don't know what his lawyer was thinking. I don't know. She might be new to the case or whatever the case is, but though that was not a smart move. I don't know what they were thinking. But TMZ is still out carrying the water for all poor men beset by accusatory women, which is not true. TMZ does not do that at all. Is not carrying the water. They don't carry the water for all. You can ask Ray Rice, that's his name, or Chris Brown. They do not carry the water by all women, for all men who women accused of doing. They don't do that. Okay, they didn't do that. There, I can name you a few black men that they don't do that for. They did for Dana White though, but they don't do that for a lot of other people. Okay, they're not even really doing that for Majors, if we're going to be honest. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. But it continues to say, Major's ex was seen at a party the same night as their alleged altercation, so she can't be abused. So this is now they're going to put a sarcastic spin on it. I'm going to tell you why when we're done. Everyone knows abused women don't go out. They just sit quietly in their rooms wearing oversized sweatshirts, cupping mugs of steadily colding tea while they stare disconsolately out the window. Sarcasm front, I wish it was real. On the other side of the coin, though, more women have come forward, at least to the Manhattan DA in charge of the case. Now, here's the thing. TMZ is not out here trying to carry the water for all men who are accused of, domestic violence or anything like they don't do that, okay? The thing is that we don't really know what happened and all the facts to the case. What they're trying to do is they're trying to say, because TMZ posted this thing, and we're going to get into that later, but TMZ had posted pictures that they got from security cameras showing that Major's ex was out at clubs, getting drinks, having fun, and all that stuff after the alleged incident of her getting beat up on in the taxi or the cab or whatever, the Uber, whatever they were in. So it makes the story seem kind of funny to say your boyfriend just beat you up and broke your finger and you was all bruised and damaged, but you were at the club with no sign of being in a fight at all. So what they're doing is they're trying to kind of gaslight a little bit and being sarcastic, like, oh, well, what is she supposed to do? Be all depressed? Abused women don't go out? Oh, so you're saying just because she went out, she's lying? Well, no, not necessarily. But if you say, my boyfriend just beat me up and I needed to go to the hospital and I'm out partying, it kind of makes your story a little funny. So this is them. They're not being, this is being very biased. They're not being fair. And they're pretty much trying to say, oh, despite the evidence, Majors is still guilty. A lot has gone on with this story, with professional ramifications for Majors mounting and the back and forth in the media about Major's ex-girlfriend and those text messages and what those other women might be saying to the DA. We'll probably find out some of that during the May 8th court appearance. Until then, there are two threads in this story that are not going away. The frustration that Majors got a hero's welcome in Hollywood and was quickly touted as the next big thing, I'm guilty of this, and the marvel of it all. As everyone wonders what Marvel will do with Majors, as he's supposed to be their next linchpin villain, tying together the new MCU saga. These two things are not unrelated. I was excited when Majors came out on the scene with The Last Black Man in San Francisco in 2019. He was obviously a major talent. He was great in films like The Five Bloods, Devotion, Creed 3, and Magazine Dreams, which is still slanted for a December Oscar run. And he was setting up his public persona as a hot dad. I didn't. Y'all, so y'all know I didn't want to read that part, but it was in the article. Okay. It continues to say, and thoughtful and charming serious actor. All of that has changed now, of course. But the question everyone keeps echoing is how he got so far, booking so many roles of increasing size and visibility, culminating a reported 20 million deal for the Avengers: The Kang Dynasty, without any red flags. Surely someone, Disney, at least look into this guy, right? I mean, they looked into David Show when their subsidiary FX was considering backing the Cho Show. There's the key difference, though. David Cho's reprehensible comments were on record, as was his apology. So before we continue, I want to start off by saying this is David Cho. And I want to show you guys what he said because they're making a comparison to David Cho being kind of rejected in Hollywood and or Chow, whatever his name is, him being rejected in Hollywood and Johnathan Majors. So we're gonna pick off from where I highlighted because we're not gonna read the whole thing because this video is really not about him, but I'm just doing this so you can have a comparison. So where I highlighted, that's where we're starting off from. So it says in a 2014 episode of his now defunct DVD ASA podcast, Cho recalled sexually assaulting a biracial massage therapist named Rose. Cho said he placed the therapist's hand on his genitals without her consent and forced her into oral sex. When the co-host Aza, so I guess that's why it's Aza. When the co-host Aza Akora said to Cho, "You, I'm just gonna say you raped her." He responded, "Yeah." He also called himself a quote successful rapist. Cho's comments resurfaced earlier this month after he played a significant role in Netflix Beef. Now, I guess that's a movie or a TV show or something. Opposite stars Wong and Yin, who also served as executive producers. Then it says, quote, "We're aware David has apologized in the past for making up this horrific story, and we've seen him in the work to get mental health support he needed over the last decade to better himself and learn from his mistakes." The statement continued. In 2014, Cho apologized for his comments and claimed, quote, "I'm not a rapist according to BuzzFeed News." And end quote, "I hate rapists. I think rapists should be raped and murdered," he said. "I'm an artist and a storyteller, and I view my story, DVD, ASA, or AVA, ASA, as a complete extension of my art." Now, here's the thing. That's not a good story to tell. That's not a good joke. I don't know what type of dark art he's into or whatnot. And to be honest, I don't know anything about this guy. This is my first time hearing about him. I don't know about the movie Beef or whatever he was in, but I know for a fact he didn't get drugged like Johnathan Majors did, because they said he made this statement before he was in the Netflix movie. So it's not like the second he made the statement, it would have went viral. All I'm gonna say is that had he been a black guy who made that exact statement, you would never hear the end of it. It would be all over Twitter, all over YouTube. "Oh my God, see, this is what the black men think, and this is what the black men do," and you would never hear the end of it. To be honest, there's probably a lot of people in the comments right now who never heard of this situation before I brought it up today, because I didn't know about it. But this is the person that they're comparing Johnathan Majors to. Now we're going to continue with the article about Majors. There is a key difference, though. David Cho's reprehensible comments were on record, as was his apology. If anyone at Disney or Marvel looked into Majors before signing him as Kang the Conqueror, what would they have found? Now, here's the thing. How do you know that Jonathan Majors, they did not do that? They're making it seem like Disney and Marvel just randomly picked Jonathan Majors. First off, Kang the Conqueror is not Jonathan Majors' first role. It's not his first time in Hollywood. Jonathan Majors was already being praised for his role in a show called Lovecraft. Everybody knew who he was through Lovecraft, and that was before they announced that he was going to be Kang, before he signed up to be Kang. So it's not like Disney just randomly drew a hat from a name from a hat or whatnot. They're making it seem like you don't know the dark history of him. What would they have found? I'm pretty sure all agencies and all corporations like Disney and Marvel look into their actors before doing such a thing. Okay, and y'all can say that about DC with Ezra Miller, but that's a different story. Continuing, cryptic subtweets from members of the New York City theater community. There was else nothing on record. Hell, there wasn't even a proper rumor. This is not like Scott Running, where his stapler chuckling habits were an open secret, or Nate Parker. And we all know about Nate Parker and how Hollywood didn't like the direction Nate Parker was going in when it came to that Nat Turner movie and when it came to Slave Rebellion. So they kind of sabotaged Nate Parker. That's another thing. And then they said, who, like Chloe, had an on-record allegation anyone could have found. But the thing is, Cho actually did say it, though. That's the thing. Cho did say it. Parker, that all that stuff was a bunch of rumors that was proven not to be true, but he got drugged and punished like it was true anyway. Okay. But then they said, okay, on record, not to be found. It says, okay. And everyone ignored until the internet clamor became too loud. There wasn't a red flag about Majors. Not one anyone could have actually used anyway. Cryptic subtweets aren't enough. Which is not meant to blame victims or force survivors to speak before they're ready. That's not a solution at all. But there isn't any early warning system for bad men beyond the Whisper Network. And in this case, the Whisper Network just couldn't keep up with how fast Majors ascended the Hollywood hierarchy. Now, here's the thing. Majors has not been found guilty of anything at all. And they're already like, oh, it's just people just didn't know about the darkness of Jonathan Majors. People didn't know how evil he was. All of this is allegations. And they're stating this as if it's a solid fact that he did it. Like it was caught on red camera that he was trying to like drown her in a lake or something like that. This is how this is framing this. But let's continue. If he had a slower ascend, some of the New York rumors could have gained traction, turned into proper red flags someone could spot. What? Do you hear how they're talking? Continuing, but even with the pandemic slowing everything down for a couple years, this still wasn't enough for anyone to get a handle on Majors beyond his public-facing persona. The next question is what Marvel does now, and the answer is probably nothing, at least in the short term. Avengers: The Kang Dynasty isn't slated till 2025. They have some time to see what happens and find a way to extract themselves from their contract with Majors if need be. He's already filmed Loki season 2. If you're thinking it's easy to break a contract like this, remember that morality clauses are notoriously hard to enforce, if they even exist in the first place. Again, Marvel had no reason to insert one. Okay, but I don't know why they're saying that. And Marvel would need a good grounds to fire him, like, say, a conviction, not a settlement. So the thing is that Marvel, if they wanted to get their first off, I hope they don't, because it's not like, and we're going to get into the next article after this, is not looking like he actually did what he's being accused of, if we're going to be honest, okay? And they're talking about he would need to be convicted. To be totally honest with you, it's not looking like it's going to turn out that way, based off of some of the pictures that we've seen in the next article. But look at them already talking about, damn, what does Marvel do? What does Marvel do? A wait and see approach isn't just about potentially marshaling PR defense to protect a visible star. It's about seeing if a good enough legal excuse to drop majors materializes. It has been discussed. Just because they haven't done it yet doesn't mean it's not on the table. It is, but again, they need reasonable cause or for majors to agree to a graceful exit, probably with a handsome compensation package. Either option takes time to work out. Though more information has come out in the last month, the situation is basically unchanged, at least until that May 8th court date. There's still not a bad man warning signal, and Disney Marvel won't do anything until their own legal exposure is covered. But if they decide to keep Majors as king, it would be fascinating to watch the excuses roll in. There wasn't a tornado siren before, but there is now. And I don't know how you can expect women to work with a man accused of violence. Oh, dun, dun, dun. If nothing else changed post quote hashtag me too, we're at least supposed to be past the grin and bear it days of forcing women to work with reprehensible men. Now, they're saying this as if, like I said before, as if this is not an allegation. This is that believe all women nonsense. This is if a woman, especially a white woman, accuses a black man of doing anything, he is to be punished as if he is guilty. When you're black, it's not innocent until proven guilty. It's guilty until proven innocent, and then you still kind of get punished as if you were guilty. This is what this is making it seem like. Oh, well, how can women be comfortable working with Majors? Majors has been in the industry for years. Kang the Conqueror is not Major's first role at all. Major's done movies, he's did TV shows. This is not his first role at all. And women have worked with Majors. You've never heard any any rumor of Majors being violent to women, assaulting women, or anything like that with anybody else. This one allegation comes up, and it's kind of wishy-washy. People don't really know where it is or what's going on, and people are like, oh my god, women are so uncomfortable. He's being accused of violence. Anybody can be accused of violence. Anybody can. Now my thing is this: we don't approve of people abusing women, women abusing women, or men abusing women. Now, when we talk about women abusing women, that's just like that's not a conversation. It doesn't matter when they do it. That's why nobody got on Ellen DeGeneres when all of her allegations about how she was mistreating her staff. I don't know if you guys remember that, but I do, because I never liked her anyway. But when her allegations got brought up about how bad she was with staff and people were secretly recording her talking down to people, belittling people, nobody said anything. Now, if Ellen DeGeneres, instead of being the female talk show host who happened to have been, a lesbian, but, and I'm not going to say that that's not a factor either, not going to say that yet, but if that was a dude, it would have been, oh my God, I can't believe he's treating his staff like this. I can't believe he's treating women like this. And I'm only saying this to say there are certain people in that field, the realm of entertainment, that gets a pass and who doesn't get a pass. Then when you talk about white men abusing women, like for instance, I don't know, Dana White on video. So it's not like, oh, just taken out of context. Oh, that didn't really happen. Now, mind you, what Johnathan Majors allegedly did is not on video. What Dana White did was on video, and Johnathan Majors is getting dragged way more than Dana White is. And we can't say, oh, Johnathan is more famous than Dana is. Dana is very, very, very well known. The UFC is a $1 billion corporation or industry. So let's not act like Dana White is this small little nobody, and that's why nobody cared about the story. People covered for him, and then swept the story under the rug. So that's what happened with this. Mind you, the most important part of that is the fact that he was caught on camera. Okay. Now, you want to talk about working with irrehensible people? I don't think that they've made an article talking about how terrible Ezra Miller is. Ezra Miller's pretty much traveling around, kidnapping people, having underage girls drink or whatever the case is, committing crimes all over, okay? Getting arrested back and forth, throwing, because his movie, the Flash movie, I guess is just so damn important to the DC universe that they can't cancel it and they can't replace him. So he's pretty much almost destroyed the whole DC universe and all of that stuff and everybody else's jobs. He's got everybody else's movies and their contracts and everything pushed back because of his actions. That's not happened with Johnathan Majors. And a matter of fact, Johnathan Majors, a lot of people were saying when he was signed up to be king, when people found out he was going to be like the next big villain, the next Thanos type villain in the MCU, people were saying that Johnathan Majors was actually going to be the one to save the MCU. Because let's be honest, I don't know if you guys are MCU watchers or not, but MCU has seen better days. So when Johnathan Majors came up, because he's such a respected and good actor, people were like, okay, this is the type of person, he's going to be the villain that we need to get the movies back on track when we base it around what he has going on. So it's kind of crazy. One is literally destroying his whole movie franchise, and one is saving it. But the one who's saving the movie franchise is the one who's getting all of the flack, and the one who's destroying it is not getting any. And I find that not to be a coincidence whatsoever. Now, let me show you this. This comes from TMZ. Johnathan Majors, alleged DV victim partying in club, new video on night of alleged incident. And I'm glad they're using the word alleged, because this is what it is. It's all alleged. None of this has been proven. It starts off saying, we know Johnathan Majors, alleged DV victim, was out partying after the incident in question. But now there's video that appears to support Majors' team's claim that she was just fine. TMZ has obtained security footage that was referenced in a filing last week by his legal team, where they submitted still images that they argued proved their case. Namely, that his woman was not assaulted by Majors at all. And the whole thing is a false witch hunt. Now, here you see, this is it's a black and white picture. This is a camera, the security camera, showing her hand, because I guess her hand was broken or damaged or beat up or whatever the case is. And this is after they said the incident. Now, what they're saying is they had fought in a cab or a taxi, remember? And he had, I guess, beat her up so bad. And this is after the fact that she beat up. So this is her allegedly after getting beat up by Johnathan Majors, with no sign of being in any altercation, any physical altercation with him at all. That's been their argument from the beginning. And the new video does seem to firm up their point of view, at least on its face anyway. Okay, I don't know, at least on its face anyway. I don't know what's that supposed to mean. So that's what I'm saying. TMZ ain't doing too much to save him. They still kind of like holding out like he could have did it. But anyway, check out the clips yourself. We're told that this was recorded at Lucy's nightclub near Little Italy in Lower Manhattan after the taxi altercation with Majors, which this woman claims turned violent and left her with injuries. However, here she doesn't look too hurt. Okay, so here she's fine. Now, even if you don't see any bruises, because people might make them excuse, okay, well, the bruises didn't show immediately. Bruises don't show up immediately. You gotta have some time for the bruises and stuff. Oh, all right. Even if we want to go with that story, if somebody beat you, somebody as big and strong as Johnathan Majors, if he beat this little white girl, she wouldn't be partying at a club at all. Even if he hit her one time, she would just be too hurt to just go to the club and party. There's an interesting moment where this woman is dancing by a DJ booth. She puts her drink down on the edge, chats with the DJ, and then launches forward abruptly, possibly hitting her head. Later, you see her leaving holding hands with another woman. So that's the thing. They're arguing that she was probably dancing. She got into an argument with Majors in a taxi. Then she went out partying. She might have failed. Somebody might have bumped into her. That might be why she got scratches or whatever the case. She hit her hand at the party, which you can see happened at the party or the club or whatever. And that's why her hand had that bruise on it. It's not because of Johnathan Majors. Remember, Major's attorney claimed last week that her client was not with the alleged victim after the taxicab moment, and that he did not come into contact with her again until the following morning, when he allegedly found her unconscious in his bathroom. At that point, he called 911 on her behalf, and that's when the cops showed up and arrested him. His team all along has also insisted purported text messages sent from the alleged victim to Johnathan in the aftermath of all this, where she appears to recant her allegations and apologize to him, do not make any references to injuries supposedly inflicted by him. All this evidence, including the video surveillance footage videos, have been submitted to the DA in Manhattan. His lawyers have also said they have witnesses, including the cab driver, who will testify to what they apparently saw. Notably, that JM, which Johnathan Majors, didn't put his hands on her. Now, at the end of the day, to be honest, we don't know fully what has happened. We don't know that yet. But the evidence is leading to the fact that, in my personal opinion, he did not do it. That's what I'm saying right now. Now, his defense attorney, I guess I don't know what's going on, but that's what the evidence is looking like to me. And in this country, you are supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. Johnathan Majors has not been proven guilty of anything, yet he is being treated as if he has been proven guilty without a shadow of a doubt. So this is wrong. What's happening to him, period, by everybody. But this goes to show that there is a world, no matter what field you're in, no matter what industry you're in, no matter how popular you are, no matter how rich you might be, no matter how much people might like you, quote unquote, it doesn't matter. All right. When you're black, you're always one single mistake. And in this case, we don't even know what really happened. You're only one single mistake. You're only one single mishap. You're only one single allegation from completely being canceled. Now, you don't hear any of the alt-right people talking about cancel culture. Oh, this is cancel culture, cancel culture. The ones you always hear complaining about cancel culture, you don't hear them complain about cancel culture when it's a black guy. When it's a black guy, nobody's talking about, oh, we got to stop this cancel culture. This cancel culture is just going too far. Just too much cancel culture. You never hear that. Okay. But when it's white, oh my God, all he did was shoot somebody. Come on. Why can't you let him play? He shot and killed somebody on the scene. That's cancel culture. When it's, I forgot his name. Some white dude shot somebody on Professor Black Truth was talking about. I forgot his name. But, that's showing you there's a racial dynamic in every field that you're in. Now, I hope the best for Johnathan. I hope the best that, the video comes out, proves his story correct, and then he can start. He needs to operate a lot smoother and with a lot more wisdom now, seeing how everybody was ready to immediately drop him. He needs to operate a little bit smoother now, seeing how people are really going to turn on him. But I wish him the best. Now, brothers and sisters, please let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. You can also follow me on my social media pages, which is at Afro Elite on Instagram and at The Afro Elite on Twitter. And with that being said, my brothers and my sisters, be one salute to every single last one of you all, and you all have a good one.